Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to reflect upon the government's attempts to justify Brexit along the lines of innovation as we rush towards the first anniversary of Brexit with all the shortages and increased costs of living that have come with it. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So there have been numerous attempts to try and work out what the benefits of Brexit are by the government. They're even appointing someone to work them out. I'm not actually sure how that recruitment is going. Maybe they've already appointed and I've forgotten. Might need to check on that. But the very fact that the government have tried appointing people, first of all from their own ranks, including their former leader, Ian Duncan Smith. Oh yeah, remember that. They once elected Ian Duncan Smith as their leader. To identify benefits, they failed. And so they're now having to recruit someone to do the job from outside. I mean, that's telling. This government argued that we should leave the EU for years. Surely they already knew what the benefits would be. Why would you do a mad thing and then work out what the benefits are later? You know, they must have known what the benefits were before. Surely they were arguing for it. If so, why do they need to recruit someone at the taxpayer's expense to reveal this crucial information? I mean, there were benefits aplenty in 2016 through 2019. It's just that now that reality has been transplanted from, the fevered imaginations of Brexiteers into the actual cold, harsh light of reality, they've all melted away. We can get better trade terms with other countries while still enjoying exactly the same level of trade with the EU. No. We have equal terms with other countries at best and way worse terms with the EU. Terms that will get a lot worse yet once we start actually controlling our side of the customs and standards border. Remember, we're not checking anything that comes in from the EU right now. And especially if we're stupid enough to trigger the trade war that we keep threatening. We'll not have to follow EU rules. Actually, we're following more EU rules now than we did as members. Like, most EU rules are not for EU countries. Who joins a club just to face a load of restrictive rules? Most EU rules are for third countries. That's the thing, you see. The benefits of membership is that you are exempt from all those restrictive protectionist rules that the EU has. You are in the club. You get those benefits. And we were one of the key players making those rules. We made those rules in order to protect our own businesses. Now we are subject to those rules and the Brexit media are whining about it. It'll be good for our fishermen. It's been really bad for our fishermen. It'll be good for our farmers. It is destroying British farming. We'll get cheaper food and clothes. The cost of essential items is increasing massively. Food has gone up a lot. We'll put a stop to foreigners being able to just swan around the place. Due to our critical shortages in the labour market, we are having to extend freedom of movement to foreigners whilst we've lost the freedom of movement that our own citizens used to have. Whatever benefit existed before 2020 has either crumbled to dust or worse, the reverse has happened. So now they need to find new benefits. Our unelected Brexit Minister David Frost has been frantically trying to work some out. I was reading about one area that was picked out. It's interest to me. Innovative genetic techniques. Quite interested in genetics. No details on how we were going to derive a benefit from this, which is when their strategy hit me. I'm not saying we can't derive a benefit from new genetic techniques. Of course we can. In fact, all areas of scientific and engineering research could yield exciting technologies for the future. Of course. But the government were just plucking these ideas out of the hat as things that would have been difficult with the EU regulations in place. Because then it hit me. Perhaps they've given up trying to find actual benefits of Brexit. They don't exist. Maybe what they're trying to do now is identify what it is you couldn't do as EU members and then suggest that that path lies to future rewards. In other words, identify areas of research where the EU has tight regulations, for example, gene editing, and then suggest that dropping these regulations allows us to steal a march on the rest of the world. Not that gene editing is unlawful in the EU. In fact, we are carrying out research on it and have done as EU members. But it is tightly regulated. See, the thing is, there's a good reason for that. Even the United States, which is not exactly a tightly regulated country, has its boundaries here. There are a number of benefits to gene editing, but also massive ethical and safety concerns. And with some potential technologies, once the genie is out of the bottle, that's it. Regulations exist for a reason. Ethics exists for a reason. And there's a lot of safety and ethical concerns in this area of research. Like, you could, in theory, use it to eliminate genetic conditions like cystic fibrosis. Well, that'd be wonderful. Who's going to argue against that? But you could also use it to allow the wealthy to just program their progeny like they were creating a character in a video game. Really get a two-tier system. Not only would wealthy already have a good start in life, privileged upbringing, lots of money, can never fail, but they will actually be smarter, stronger, healthier, live longer. You know? But I digress. The point is that I couldn't find anywhere in Frost's writing a focus for this area of deregulation, or indeed any other. This is because they don't have a plan. They did have a reason for Brexit, but it wasn't one that they could readily admit to. For the likes of Frost and Johnson, both of whom attacked the idea of leaving the EU as being deeply damaging to the UK, it was about political power. They have both enjoyed a position that would not have been possible on their own merit without Brexit as a vehicle to their current careers, or at least they don't believe that. For others, it was about maintaining secrecy of their riches in order to avoid paying their fair share of taxes. For others, it was just mindless xenophobia. For others still, it was about having more power in Parliament or to dilute human rights in the country. But none of the real reasons are the sorts of things you can boast about because they don't help the general population. In fact, they're actively harmful to us. So they needed some benefits for the rest of us, things that could say to this will benefit you. But it's not just that the downsides outweigh the benefits. The benefits just don't exist at all. If they did, they'd be trumpeted from all the Brexit media on a regular basis and by the government. You know, they imagined benefits before, but they've been exposed now. They tried to make one up with the vaccine, say, oh, we couldn't have done this vaccine programme without the EU. It's like two things. One, we could. Not all EU members took part in the EU vaccination programme, for example. They did, some did their own thing. The second thing is our vaccine programme is now way behind the EU. So actually, how's that worked out? Even if it were true, how's that worked out? So what they need is they need theoretical benefits. Look, if we remove these EU regulations in this area of research, we're giving you the tools to innovate. They don't know what benefits could come of these innovations in research. Frost may talk about gene editing without the foggiest what it even means. Doesn't matter. The government are potentially just saying how things could be unlocked in the UK in a way that wouldn't have been the case in the EU, and then doing what they always do, leaving it to others to work out how they're going to use this supposed benefit. If nobody does, that'll be someone else's fault for not taking the opportunities. Here, I've given you a thing. It looks like a plastic cube. Yes, use it to become rich. I don't know how. You just don't see the opportunities in it. Because that's the government's line, isn't it? We're giving you opportunities with Brexit. If you don't take advantage of them, well, that's up to you. But let's consider gene editing again. How does deregulating help us? In theory, you could argue it would allow us to develop technologies that we could then export around the world because the rest of the world won't make this area of research lawful. But if the rest of the world has outlawed these areas of research, then they would also presumably outlaw the results of that research. In other words, we wouldn't actually be able to sell it to anyone. So we won't have benefited our economy, we won't have created jobs, even if someone does take advantage of this deregulation. And because regulation exists for very good reasons, we actually risk causing a lot of harm in just mindlessly agreeing to remove those regulations out of some blinkered Brexit zealotry without the slightest clue of the risks. Do we really expect the current crop of ministers who cannot answer the simplest questions about their own policies to carefully consider which regulations are genuinely not needed? You know, I reckon they will absolutely tear anything up that has the EU's fingerprints on it for no other reason than that. But yes, I do wonder if that is what they're doing now in their search for benefits. Points to what is not allowed in the EU, say that we will allow it and just leave it at that. Might not even matter if any benefit comes from it. Just claim it as a benefit for the future. We've laid the groundwork for innovative research. Come 20 years' time, we will be world leaders in this, that and the other. But you know, research takes time. But you will see the benefits. Give it 20 years, maybe 30. 50 at the outside. Don't you worry about that. And all because of our identification of Brexit benefits. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.